Okay, let's talk about Night of Champions, and we're gonna just combine both of the U.S. title things here, both the Battle Royal pre-show for the number one contendership and the match itself. Now, if you didn't watch it, this is what happened. They had a Battle Royal as the YouTube pre-show, which I actually got a chance to watch this time. I'm surprised it fucking worked. The last like six pre-shows I wasn't able to watch that kept screwing up on YouTube for me. The difference that I did this time was I watched it on WWE.com though, not on the YouTube page itself that I had checked beforehand. Um, but you know what happens with YouTube? They fuck up often. Says the guy who just had his channel possibly removed. So the Battle Royal, they started off and they had everybody eliminate Heath Slater, which I thought was pretty funny. And this person eliminates that person, blah 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 blah, all that kind of does that kind of stuff. And we end up with Tensai and Zack Ryder, and Ryder wins by reversing a power bomb attempt into a Hurricanrana. Kind of who was it? Benoit did that. Was it Benoit or was it
It was Mysterio to Orton in the
Mysterio?
Royal Rumble.
That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Benoit was the fucking the
Big
headlock.
Show, headlock, yeah.
Yeah. So Zack Ryder wins that. Of course, that made Dace very, very happy because he's a huge Ryder mark. I liked it. You know, I always like battle royals.
Yeah, that was it was either, Ryder being like the face the crowd could get behind, for Cesaro to get basically a pay-per-view win, or it was going to be I said it, or the other option was just going to be Ryback dominating the Battle Royal and then destroying him for the title. I said it was going to be one of two options. They obviously went with option B. Seems like Ryback's headed elsewhere in terms of a title picture. I enjoyed it. It was a good Battle Royal. It's stuff like this that makes people watch the pre-show, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, because it was actually for something, kind of like when they did the United States Championship thing. Instead of just having Zack Ryder versus Kane, and uh, that was that one pre-show that they did.
It was Brodus Clay versus
Otunga.
Otunga, yeah.
Yeah.
And then having the tag champions face Unico and Camacho, but there's no title on the line. It's just a tag team match.
Yeah,
Which is ridiculous.
But I like when they do that kind of stuff, and I hope that they do more stuff like that. Like, I would love to see for the Hell in a Cell them to do something like maybe another number one contender kind of thing, or like another a gimmick match of some sort. Even if you have to do something like throw away the pre-show and make that the Divas match or something, like utilize the pre-show concept. It might not get people to watch it, but putting a Divas match on there, but if you can give that the extra time for the card, then maybe that'll make all the difference. Or maybe do something like a special Legends challenge match, or some kind of gimmick thing.
Yeah.
I'd say do something with the tag team titles, because obviously that's where they should be heading.
I think that they'll be keeping them on the card itself, though, because they're giving that a lot of focus. Apparently, that's like all of SmackDown this week. We are recording this on Thursday night, by the way, everybody, instead of the normal Friday night. So SmackDown hasn't aired yet.
But I think we all know basically the gist to that show, anyway.
Yeah, Dace went to it. Hopefully, brought a Smark Out Moment sign. But he kind of filled me in, and it's all Daniel Bryan and Kane, apparently. But
the show's all me.
No
one else.
This is off topic, but we might as well talk
about it. Show.
Oh no, we'll talk about it like when we get to the tag title match. I forgot that. Yeah, that's a part of this pay-per-view. So yeah, never mind. We'll get to that later.
All right, we'll keep that on the back.
So let's actually. We didn't really touch upon the title match itself too much. Or are we waiting for its actual place on the card to talk about it? Or are we just gonna?
We're just going to throw it in.
Like you said we're merging them both together on this.
Yeah, we'll just throw them in together.
Ryder won against Albert, which was a good thing, because I didn't want him to shave your back chance. Ryder did pretty well in this match. It was literally all Ryder. We saw like a few sort of moves coming out from Cesaro, especially with that rather unique uppercut.
Oh, that uppercut was sick.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, for a signature, like that could be a finisher in and of itself. It looked that awesome
instead of that awkward neutralizer.
Yeah, instead of the half-assed Styles Clash, he should use that uppercut as his finisher. I mean, that's sick
Yeah,
in every
and
sense of the word.
he literally gave Zack Ryder a sort of a quick hit, and then Ryder came in, took over the majority of the match, was literally beating the living shit out of Cesaro until he got the cheap win.
You
So you know
know,
what my least favorite part about this whole thing is? I like how they gave it to Ryder because it gives somebody that the fans can cheer, then Cesaro can beat him, and then it's kind of like boo to Cesaro. But it seems like they have like 50% of what they need for Cesaro, and the other 50% they're almost like purposely fucking up. Like I love the nickname that JBL said. I don't know if they had said it beforehand, but the Swiss Superman. I think that that's a great nickname. I think
That was
Cesaro.
I think
coined
they've
in Ring
alluded
of
to it
Honor, by the
before,
way.
actually.
They have.
It
Yes.
was coined in Ring of Honor. I'm just
Oh,
letting people
okay.
know that.
But I think his name doesn't sound ridiculous like what Dolph Ziggler sounded like at first. That still is
Show
like,
off.
Well, no, like, especially if he's playing a foreign character, that sounds like a perfectly normal foreign name.
Yeah,
It has a ring to it.
yeah. It doesn't sound odd,
Terrible.
but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds just enough that you can
And like
remember it.
like Daniel Bryan, like as much as I like the guy, the name is like generic as fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Mike Jones. It's
Whereas
fucking David Smith.
it's or like John Smith, super generic. Cesaro, that's not a generic name. It
Right.
fits. It works.
Yeah,
You know,
it's something that I am a fan of, and I like. He's got a good look to him. I mean, he's got that uppercut, which is good. From what I've seen him in the ring, now I haven't watched all the ROH stuff or whatever, but it seems like he's got talent in the ring and all that. It's just
he's got technical prowess for sure.
they're really
Damn
screwing
straight.
him over with this gimmick. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Well, it's not that it's awful. It's just there's not a lot of mic development, which is a problem.
Yeah, it's sort of like a few words here and there.
I think that
Like,
this is just like the poor man's Damian Sandow.
well,
Not really.
not really, because it is quite different. Like, if he could say more than one word in just 5 different languages and just could go off on a crowd and maybe develop his character a little further, I think he could get over super well as a heel. I mean, he's a foreigner. Foreigners always get heat from the patriotic American crowds, like it's that simple. But saying one word 5 times, despite if it's in 5 different languages, and then basically saying his name and that word in a sentence, and that's
Mhm.
all he does, you're not progressing, you're staying stagnant, and he's not getting any mic development.
Yeah.
And that's a problem for not only him, but I would say 3/4 of the roster. I mean, main eventers are given that kind of character development. Damian Sandow's getting that kind of character development. Cody Rhodes, I guess he was. He's
Yeah, I
kind of
don't know, they dropped off of that for some fucking reason.
he was stagnant. He's stagnant now and isn't really going anywhere. And beyond that, there's just not a lot of character development in wrestling, specifically mic development, because even though it is about wrestling, it's still about entertainment, and you have to cut good promos. You got to keep the crowd invested through your talking as well as your in-ring performances. And if they're not given these guys, especially Cesaro, somebody who could do this and could do this very well, these chances, it's going to come off like the gimmick is failing, when in reality it could be working so much better if they were giving him more.
Right.
I agree with Brandon on that. It's about selling your character. And how are you supposed to sell yourself if you don't get the mic time? That's the biggest issue. He needs to go out there and tell people why he's that good. Why
And
he's
then
better
show
than
it.
them. Yeah, exactly.
Just
the end
like
of
how
the day,
they're
you've got
not
the
really giving
ability.
Sandow a whole bunch of time in the ring.
Yeah, and it's like it's
But
the opposite of Sandow.
Yeah,
Because Sandow speaks on the mic but doesn't back it up in the ring.
but he's still getting the better development, because in a way, I really don't want to say this, but in WWE it seems to be your promo skills are in a way more important than your in-ring ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
the
mean,
most
if
part.
you can talk the talk really well, you'll get over faster than somebody who's fantastic in the ring but can't talk for shit.
Yeah. Look at
You
a
know,
Justin Gabriel.
yeah, you know what I mean? So in a way, Sandow, he's a great promo cutter. I mean, that guy is awesome at what
Yeah.
he does,
Yeah.
and his character fits. Like, it's almost not like he's playing a character. It's like he's himself. Like, he's that good at his role. So in a way, he's developing better than Cesaro because they're giving him the proper development for his character. Like, even if he doesn't have much time in the ring, people are still getting familiar with what he is and what he's all about,
Hmm.
and they have a reason to hate him. I mean, talking about going back to school and
Yeah, that was
yeah, teaching vocabulary, like, that's great stuff, especially when they're more catering towards kids who kids hate school. They hate being taught stuff, you know. They're just using him so well. And
Their understanding of his audience as well.
yes,
right.
and that's what it's all about, and that's how you make stars.
Yeah.
Hopefully they keep
And
doing that with Cesaro and change it up a little bit if they need to,
yes,
and give him
absolutely.
something more to run with. And apparently he might be ditching Oksana. That's a good start, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
she
it's a
can't
very
Dead
talk.
weight.
smart.
She is dead weight. She can't talk. She's useless
She can't
as a
wrestle.
diva.
I mean, like, now instead of her introducing him, maybe he can talk a little more himself and
Yeah.
give himself his own heat, basically. But the match was good. I think I really don't like the fact that I'd rather see Ryder chase the title than Brodus Clay. I think, you
Yeah.
know,
As
he,
much as
he
I like
makes a
Brodus
great
Clay,
title
he works
chaser.
better.
Like, the whole Ziggler Ryder title saga last year, I thought was a lot of fun to watch. And seeing him do that again, even if he doesn't end up winning it, I still think he makes probably the best title chaser for the United States title picture. He'd be the perfect first feud for Cesaro.
Yeah, I think that could work really well. And then he could kind of throw in some like middle ground people like Gabriel, Tyson Kidd,
Mm-hmm.
kind of Sin
Just
Cara
kind of
even
run
maybe.
run through the mid carders and all that. So
And then of
But
course
the
uh,
too,
worst
the
part,
USA guy, Dark Bateman.
yeah, the worst part of it though, I believe, is that they built Ryder up so much that there should have been a feud. It should have been the start of something,
Yeah, I
but
want
they
them to
just sort of
continue.
brushed him off.
yeah, it's like they got one match out of him. It's like, okay, we're done here. And then he went on
Yeah,
to interrupt Sandow, and then Cesaro got caught up with Brodus Clay.
Yeah,
I think he's the best, like, for the U.S. title picture, he's the best babyface chaser. Like,
yeah.
he got the crowd so invested in the whole Ziggler feud last year. I'm sure he could do that again, and it puts Cesaro in a good position because they'll want to see him lose. They'll want to see Ryder regain the title. And people care about him. They obviously do.
right.
I mean, despite being misused for basically all of 2012, he is
They
still,
still
for the
getting
most
pops.
part, he's still one of the most over mid-card faces that they have.
There was even
Yeah.
that sign that said, "We still want Ryder."
A Ryder or Riot, so why not use him to push the star of Cesaro further, or even help benefit both guys?
Right,
Would be
yeah.
nice. Benefit a face and a heel.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is, even after he finishes feuding with Cesaro, he could always get into an IC title feud. Ryback, I believe, is too green to go for the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, Vince is
I
gonna
think he's
push who he's gonna push.
no, but he's gonna fail. We know he's gonna fail.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna run through the Miz like nothing. I
Yeah, but
really
that's
think
the
so.
problem. You're not. That's not building up Ryback. That's demoting Miz in
It
a
is
way.
demoting Miz, but if he moves on to bigger and better things and gets rid of the IC title, because I think he's above it.
Yeah, we're
No,
gonna
I
talk about
agree.
that in the WWE section too, because there's a big caveat here of who does Punk challenge now that Cena's injured.
Yeah.
But final thoughts on the U.S. title thing. I think that they should have continued this because I would have liked to see more.
They showed some sparks of chemistry. Every reason to continue, and I hope that maybe creative decides to scrap the whole Brodus Clay stuff and continue with this, because what they got was pretty good at Night of Champions.
No, I agree. I
My
agree
final
with you
thought.
totally. Yeah.
All right, next part we're going to talk about the Intercontinental title and kind of throw a little bit of that Miz talk in there too, and then we'll move on to the tag team, Orton Ziggler, Divas World Heavyweight Championship, and end it with the WWE title.